One day after the New York Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers, Joe Douglas spoke to the media, so today I'm going to be breaking down most of the highlights from Douglas' press conference. You're tuning into New York Jets News, hosted by Drew Jets, and let's talk some Jets news when I get back. Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're just like Jude, don't know what your content's all about, why should you even bother hitting that subscribe button? Watch the entire thing. You can't tell what a video is about within the first 30 seconds of it. When you watch the entire thing, you'll get a glimpse of what my channel's like, and you might even consider hitting that subscribe button. You will consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, make sure to hit that like button. The more likes I get, the more YouTube recommends my videos. So if you've never even heard of New York Jets news, so why don't you go ahead and hit those two buttons. With all that boring stuff out of the way, let's talk some Jets news. In Douglas' opening statement, he thanks Darnold for all he did for the New York Jets and says that if the New York Jets didn't have the number 2 overall pick, they would have moved forward with Sam Darnold, who is the consensus number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft and who is the number 2 quarterback in this year's draft, Zach Wilson, baby. So it's pretty clear as day that the New York Jets are not going to be selecting Zach Wilson with the number 2 overall pick in this year's NFL draft. Joe Douglas is also asked about Steve Young's comments saying that the Jets are committed to Zach Wilson. Douglas goes ahead and says that Steve's plugged into BYU pretty well. In other words, Young knows what he's talking about whenever he says stuff about BYU and his players. So a bit more evidence saying that the New York Jets are going to be selecting Zach Wilson. Douglas also had a smile on his face while saying that. So Douglas was asked something about how do we make our next quarterback successful, and he goes ahead and says that we need to surround our next quarterback with as much talent as possible. I mean, one of the big reasons for why Darnold wasn't that good in New York was because we failed to surround him with talent. And I mean, we've already seen Douglas addressing this issue so far this offseason. He signed Corey Davis, he signed Keelan Cole, he signed Tyler Kroft. And I mean, heck, we have like 1 million picks in this year's NFL draft, so definitely expect the New York Jets to be selecting some receivers in rounds 3, maybe a guy in round 4, and definitely some undrafted guys. So it's glad to know that Joe Douglas' main priority, or one of his main priorities, is surrounding our next quarterback with a ton of talent. So Joe Douglas was asked about the backup quarterback situation in James Morgan. He says that they are very excited about James Morgan. He doesn't rule out adding a veteran, but doesn't speak like it's priority number 1. He also goes ahead and says that there's a constant discussion in our pro scouting department. I mean, obviously the New York Jets are adding a veteran quarterback, right? I mean, James Morgan hasn't started in an NFL game in his entire career. Heck, he's never even started a preseason game. So it's like, why would we get a guy like James Morgan, who is really inexperienced, to be our backup quarterback, which is a super important position because let's say, Zach Wilson gets hurt, now our season is basically another tank. So, I mean, yeah, we want to have a good backup quarterback. I mean, Philadelphia won a Super Bowl because they had good backup quarterback play. So having a good backup quarterback is super important. So I think maybe we let James Morgan, let's not make him inactive for every game in 2020, but kind of not make him the backup because he's not really ready yet. I mean, he hasn't had any experience. So some of the guys who are still free agents who could potentially be the Jets backup quarterback include Alex Smith, Geno Smith, Nick Mullins, RG3, Blaine Gabbert, Brian Hoyer, Matt Barkley, A.J. McCarron, Blake Bortles. I don't know about you, but I want the New York Jets to sign Alex Smith. He's arguably the best quarterback on this list, and whenever the Chiefs drafted Mahomes back in 2017, Alex Smith was really professional about it and helped, get Mahomes into an NFL groove, helped teach him the NFL system. So yeah, I would really think Alex Smith would be a great backup quarterback for the New York Jets, but I kind of expect them to sign Nick Mullins because he has some experience in the Shanahan system. Well, that's all the news I have for you guys today. Hopefully I convinced you to hit those 2 buttons. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on today's video, or if you just want to have a discussion about the New York Jets in general. I love talking Jets with you guys, so make sure to comment them down below. Well, anyway, I'm your host, Judith, signing off for now. See you later.